Okay, today we'll talk about LIC housing and GIC housing finance. This is in line with whatever we saw in the last few weeks, like the movements, the enormous movements we saw in like HUTCO, NBCC, and even before that we had other companies, similar companies like IFCI, the government financial institutions. That is the theme. Now we all know that PSU stocks are on fire. One of the reason is that they have lot of assets, and there is an expectation in the market that something is going to happen because of changing government policies and all that. Even stocks like MTNL are going up. Now we'll look at LIC and why we should buy it actually. So LIC Housing Finance is mostly owned by LIC, like 40% is with LIC. And if you look at the shareholding pattern, we'll just pull it from screener. So if you look at LIC Housing and look at the investors, investors. Okay, so 40% is with 45% is with promoters now. Only 11% is with the public. So there are around 34 35 lakh shares in liquid shares, which is with public. So all the other domestic mutual funds, FIS and LIC is never going to sell this. So which means that only the public has to rotate. So now if you look at the normal volume, I pulled out the volume from NSE website. It says that around 25 lakh shares are changing, which is indecisive, which means that it is mostly from day traders and all that. Day traders, algo traders, market makers. 10 to 15 lakhs is the decisive order. So the 15 lakh shares that change hands every day, that decides the direction of the LIC housing finance stock price. Now, there are so many stocks which you might have observed that whenever there is a 30-40% increase in stock price, there will be a corresponding increase in volume. But if you look at LIC, it is very strange that there is not much volume increase when the price is moving up, which means that nobody is even ready to sell it. Whatever spike you are seeing, it is just because of the huge desperation in demand. So when you look at supply demand, all that market terminologies, you have to understand that which side is more desperate, the seller side or the buyer side. Now everybody knows in a bull market the buyer side is very desperate, but even that is not visible here. With the every small spike in volume brings a large increase in share price. This we have seen in HUTCO recently. From 120 levels, it's almost doubled. IFCA, PNB guilds, so many financial institutions and PSU banks are in demand, and LIC Housing Finance is a very profitable institution. So if you look at the EPS, it is like 25 per quarter, which means the stock forward PE's ratio is around 6. There are no stocks available in India market at this price. There is a promising growth. It is a very stable company. Housing market is one of the housing market in India is very stable, just like gold. Okay, nobody, not even 1% defaults on housing loans in India. So this is one stock you can consider buying. And if you look at a weekly chart, it is above the multi-year resistance, which is around. You can see that this is the multi-year resistance which is broken. This all-time high is still yet to be broken. But once that is broken, we have seen what happens. Like the all-time high, so many stocks as have risen beyond the all-time high. Then it almost doubles. They say 10 years for the stock to reach 1,000. In the next 10 months, it reaches 2,000 very easily. We have seen in apparel industries, Raymond, so many stocks, and DLF is not too far from 1,000. So look, now when the housing real estate companies are increasing, who is going to finance all the real estate? Obviously, it's the housing market, right? So housing finance companies are going to explode That is the next big theme. And if you look at GIC again, GIC Housing Finance, that is another stock which is also in the same. See, if these companies are moving together, so it is also in the same critical resistance area, and if it breaks, and 500 is not very too far for LIC housing, GIC Housing Finance too. So these two stocks, and now on top of all these technicals, you also have a very good, fundamentally strong company, which is like even this is very good. Not like LIC, but GIC Housing Finance is also very good. But I would prefer, if you have to pick one from out of the two, it has to be LIC, just because it is backed by LIC. LIC has a lot of money to buy all the companies in India, because every month so many, it collects a lot of premium. They have a lot of cash. So obviously they are not going to sell their stake in LIC. So there is a liquidity crunch in the number of shares which are floating around in LIC. No one, no retailer is going to sell it. No institution is going to sell it, and LIC is not selling it. So every time you see a spike, it happens with very less volume. So the pullbacks, I don't think there will be deep pullbacks also. So it is very good at this point of time. If you choose to buy a PSU, I can say that LIC or GAC is a very good option now that NBCC and HUDCO has moved up very sharply. The market is going to open, but I would you don't have to even wait for pullbacks now, because there was not even a spike in the recent past. It is moving very slowly. It is now just coming out of a congestion zone. It was not even moved actually. I personally hold some LIC shares. So after moving out of this congestion zone, every stock has given at least 20-30% return. But in LIC, you just have seen like maybe 6% return. I also have personally hold some LIC shares, LIC Housing Finance shares. That's a disclaimer. So I have vested interest in making this video, but don't buy based on my recommendation. Do your own due diligence. Consult your financial advisor before making any decisions. So do not buy, especially options and futures, based on any recommendation on this channel. Thank you very much. We'll meet on another video. Thank you very much.
Apart from it's very fast, I have nothing to say. It's like you're in a rush. Posted today?
Yeah.